Okay, so good morning to one and all. We have done the statement interface in the last lecture. Okay, so we started with the database connectivity steps, in which the very first step was your import statement, and then it was your registration, that is class dot for name. Okay, then we had seen the connection class, and in that we have seen the three types of method or a way to have the connection with our database by using your get connection method. It just the parameters are going to differ. So one get connection method is going to have one parameter, the another way is going to have two parameters, and then three parameters also we can have it. And then next step which comes is your statement interface. Okay, where exactly your SQL queries are going to be fired to your database, and on what basis, or the queries which we are firing to our database, on that basis we are going to get the response into the next interface, that is your result set. Okay, so now when we started with the statement interface, we know that we have three types of statement interfaces. So the very first is just a statement interface, and then we had a prepared statement, and then we have a callable statement. Okay, so we completed in the last lecture your statement interface with one example, and I hope that you remember that, in which we have gone through with all the database connectivity steps. Okay, now today we are going to start with the prepared statement interface. So basically this interface again comes under, and or it can be or it can say that it is available inside your mysql dot, or you can say sql dot star package. Okay, and what benefits you are going to have of this prepared statement comparatively your the just statement interface is that it is going to support me both type of SQL queries. Either it can be static or dynamic queries, it is going to work for me when I'm going to use the prepared statement. Okay, and this is going to prevent me from like one of the a cyber attack, which you can say that SQL injection attack, which generally happens to the database when the attacker sends numbers of requests or number of queries at one point of time to the database, so that database is not going to respond to the genuine clients. So that type of attack can also be prevented if we are going with the prepared statement. So it is not like that only prepared statement is going to help the SQL injection attack. It is not like that, but it is like one of the option available to use it along with the other options. Okay, so directly we will switch on to the example where you can understand more better than the interface, the statement interface which we have studied in the last lecture using that example. So what is going to be the difference between that example and this example, we are going to learn that today. So very first task what we have to do it in a program is what, importing your sql.star package. Okay, and we are going to have the util.star package also. For what reason, that I'm going to tell you in the coming the statements which we are going to learn one by one. So that we are going to create our class. The class name which I have given over here is what, example. Okay, and when we had a public, the main method, this is your main method, that is your public static void main string args, and you can just have an exception class being called over here. So if at all, if any exception occurs during your the program execution, it will show you that particular exception from this class. Now the first step is your import statement, which we have done it successfully. Okay, and then after that we have been allowed to use the numbers of classes and interfaces present in this sql.star package. After that we are been now registering the JDBC driver of the database which we are going to use it. Okay, so I told you that with our program, with our Java application, I am just going to use the MySQL as my database. So every database, the renowned databases which are available and the people who are using the databases, they are having their JDBC driver for the Java application. Okay, so now the next step which comes is what, your registration of the JDBC driver of the database which I am going to use it to connect to my Java application. Now what is the method we are going to use for that? Class dot for name, again C is capital over here, that I'll make a change whenever I'm going to share this PPT with you all. So class dot for name method we have for registration. Just remember, every time I'm just repeating so that you can understand and you can remember, and then you don't have to just rectify. Just remember what methods we are using it automatically. Don't have to just go back and check which method is supporting this kind of things, having the registration of JDBC driver. the number of times we are going to see the examples, all these things are going to come again and again. So that is the only way we can understand and just remember what method we can use it over here. So class.forName is a method for registering your JDBC driver of your database. So there is a defined JDBC driver of every databases are available. Okay, when I have shown you that one table where I had two things of every database, one was your JDBC driver and one was your URL format. Okay, so now JDBC driver you don't have to change at all, nothing is going to change in your JDBC driver. It is going to be as it is, the mentioned database JDBC driver, you have to write it over here. Okay, so for MySQL, what is a JDBC driver? We know that com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Okay, so we have registered also now a JDBC driver over here. What is the next step which we are going to perform? That is your connection, connecting to the database. Okay, so that connection is going to happen, is going to possible whenever I am going to use a defined class which is available inside your sql.star package. It is connection class whose main job role is what? It is to have the connectivity to the database which I am trying to connect to. Okay, now what is the syntax of using the connection class? Say for example, I'm going to have here the connection class, I'm going to create an object for that. Okay, and assuming that I have my JDBC driver already been registered into my driver manager, so I just need to call it from there. So that what I'm doing, I'm just saying driver manager dot, let's use the get connection method to connect to that particular JDBC driver using some URL format of the database. Okay, I hope I am very much clear what I am saying right now, that we are just assuming that we have a JDBC driver already been listed into my driver manager after this step. Okay, now I am calling that JDBC driver from driver manager, and I am trying to connect to the database with some parameters which I am going to pass into the methods parameter, and that method is nothing but your get connection method, which is a method of your connection class. Okay, so when I'm going to use a connection method, get connection method, we have studied about three ways to do that. To use this get connection method, we have three ways, and I told you that we are going to use the third option where I'm going to have the first parameter as your URL format, second parameter is your username, and the third parameter is going to be your password. Okay, so now we'll see one by one all the values what we have written over here, all the parameters what we have written over here is in the get connection method. What is the very first parameter we will have in that third format is an URL format. Okay, and for JDBC and for the database, what is the URL format of MySQL database? The first thing which is going to come is what? Your JDBC, indicating that MySQL is the database and JDBC is a driver. Okay, now this local host, in the syntax local host was not written, it was written as the host name. Okay, so if you have not renamed your host name, if you don't have any separate host name, what you can write over here, the local host. Okay, and in which port number you are working, which port number your application is been using right now. Okay, for this application we just have to mention that port number. So which port number I have been allocating to this particular application to use it, that is your 3306. And I told you, if for example in the same project, or you can say in the same platform, whenever you are working for the application, okay, and you have created one application with using this port number, and if it is running and if it is getting connected to the database using this port number, and if we'll have some other application, okay, and we'll have something else like some database, again I'm trying to have the connectivity into between that database and the second application, I cannot allocate the same port number to that application with that database connectivity because it is been already allocated to one. Okay, so you just have to check, go to the command prompt, hit the command called ipconfig, you will come to know which port numbers are being free, and you can use it either one in the second application for the database connectivity. Now here what we have done it, now we have the connection class. Okay, we have created an object also for that, and from the driver manager, considering that we have done the successfully JDBC driver registration, so I am just calling from there and trying to get connect to that particular JDBC driver of the particular database called as MySQL using some parameters. Okay, What is the parameters? That is JDBC MySQL. This is going to be same for every time whenever you are going to have a database connectivity and you are passing the URL format. Okay. Even the local host is going to be same, because if you don't have any other host name, you can just simply write it as what? Local host. And which port number you are using it, that you have to mention it. Fine. After that, what is the important part? You are going to write the database name. Okay, so we have given the information to my program that I'm going to use MySQL, and for that need I have registered the JDBC driver also, and I want to connect to the database now using some URL format. And so I have to I have to write the name of the database also over here, to which database I want to connect to. Because but obviously we are not going to have only one single database, we can have n number of databases. So I have to give the credentials to the database of the database to which I want to connect to. Okay, so I have written what over here? I have written one name, that is emp underscore record, which is nothing but my database name. Fine. And I told you, whenever we are going to install the databases, so basically by default the username of that database always remains as what? Root. If we are going to change it during the installation, so what is going to happen? It is going to have the name which you are going to give it. So generally no one is actually renaming the username, but if you renamed it, please remember, and you have to you have to give that name over here in the username place. So currently, considering that we have not changed the username, so what I am writing over here is root. Okay, that is the default name. And the blank space which is been indicating that it is not having any password for this database. Just excuse me. Okay. So now I am not giving any password over here, which is saying that I am not having any password for this particular database. It is open to access it. Okay, but if you are mentioning any password during the installation, so you have to provide that password over here. Okay, so let's say xyz123 is the password. I'll just mention it over in this inverted commas. So what I am giving the information to my servlet program, that I want the classes and packages from this sql.star. First I am registering the database JDBC driver, and then I'm trying to call that JDBC driver from the driver manager where it is been listed, and I'm trying to connect to the database, that is MySQL, with some credentials which is I'm going to provide it into my URL. Okay, now the next thing, the prepared statement comes into the picture. So if you remember in the previous lecture when we have studied about the statement interface, okay, so what we have written over there, we have written statement, the object name equals to, we have called the object of the previous class to invoke the method of your current interface. Okay, now this is what, say for example, what I have written over here is prepared statement. So what I'm going to write into that first one, I'm simply going to write as statement. I'm going to create an object is equals to, what is the object of your previous class? Con, that is your connection class. So con dot, instead of prepared statement, we had create statement method into that program. Okay, and we have not passed any queries inside the parameter. The parameter was blank, the method was blank. Okay, why is that so? Because we don't wanted to make any changes into my databases, so that's why we have not passed any type of queries into my methods parameter. Okay, so what was happening over there? So I am just having the statement class or statement interface, and then I was just using the object of connection class, and then I was just having a method called as create statement method. If I can show you that, instead of saying, see over here, so I was having this statement interface. I was using the connection object dot create statement method. I have not passed it any queries over here. So it has been understood that I don't want to make any changes into my database. So what exactly I wanted to have it now? I just wanted to have the response from the database. I just wanted to see one table which I have created with the filled data. So I just want that to my web page as a response. So getting the response from the database from the table, for that need we have a specific class, called it as what? Result set class. Okay, now why then we are writing this statement over here interface? Why we are writing it? Because we want the object of this statement class to have the method of your result set class. Okay, second thing, why we want it? Right now we have not passed any parameter or any query into this, so it is not necessary that every time you're going to keep it blank. Sometimes you want to pass some static queries. Say for example, you want to change one particular row, the row data, say for example the ID called as 5, so you can update it, so you don't have to wait for the manual updation, go back to the MySQL command line and change it from there. No need, you can do it from here also. Okay, so if I wanted to make a change in the age after 1 year, I can do that from here also. Okay, but the only thing is that you are not taking dynamic responses from your client. That means you're not making your client to change the data into your database. Whatever it is happening from your program. So if you'll write that the update statement and saying that update the age equals to this, where ID is equals to 5, so what is going to happen? We are just reflecting the change into one row with an ID name as 5. Okay, so that is something we known as what, static queries. You are not changing the whole table data, or you are not making dynamic changes into your table data. It is happening statistically into from this particular example. So now when I switch back to the prepared statement example, now what I am doing, what is the prepared statement job is basically, the first interface, statement interface, was helping me to have the static queries. Now the prepared statement is having both the options, static as well as dynamic queries. Now what do you mean by dynamic queries? Now, if you'll see over here, I have created one variable, okay? And that variable is of which type? String type. What query I am trying to write over here and getting stored into this particular variable is, I am writing one insert statement, okay? What is the statement is actually saying over here, insert into employee values, but obvious this employee is nothing but it's your table. And I am passing into the parameter that is 4 question mark. What this question mark is going to be? First question mark means your first column of your table called employee. Second question mark is something mean, call it as what? Second column of your employee table. This is your third column. This is your fourth column. That means you are not putting any values manually from here. We are mentioning question mark, which is going to indicate, this question mark inside the insert statement is going to indicate that the values which we are going to insert into my database or in my table called as employee is going to come from the client, is going to come from the web page which I have created for my client. Okay, so this is a syntax, this is a prepared statement syntax. You don't have to mention any values, so that means your program is not going to take an headache to have the values to for your table or for your database. All the headache is going to now the client web page. Okay, so that means you have to give an option to your web page, you have to design your web page in such a way that you can have an option called as update in your web page for a client, like updating the data. We generally, when we fill some information in one of the registration form or any form, so there we generally get an option to edit the data before saving the changes. Okay, so that option you can give it. So if you'll just have that edit option over there into the client side, what it can do is it can insert the values. If it wants to update it also, it can update it also. Okay, so whenever we'll try to insert the values, what my expectations are, now the registration form has been filled by the client, and while submitting on the submit button, the data should get fetched from there and get it stored into the database directly. Okay, so in between, the servlet program is going to do what, where the servlet program is going to come into the picture, where I am going to write the dynamic insert statement like this, what I have written over here. Okay, now only why 4 question mark? Because there is only going to be 4 columns into my table called as employee. So currently assuming that I am having an employee table which is having 4 columns, that is employee number, employee name, employee salary and employee address. So that's why we are mentioning how many question marks over here, 4 question marks. So if you increase the number of columns over here, that many question marks you have to increase it over here. Okay, so now I have just written a dynamic query. This is your dynamic query, not taking the value statically over from here. It is going to come from your client. So this statement is for servlet file which I have written. So now you have to understand again one picture, create a picture in your mind. We have a client, we have a servlet file which is running inside your server, and then we have a database. Okay, so now this particular program, what we are actually learning right now, this program is going to execute and have a communication with the database, and this program is going to get executed in your server. So this is a server side program what I have written. Okay, so now basically what I am doing is inserting values from your servlet file to your database. But what about that data which I am trying to feed into the database, from where the data is going to come? It is going to come from your client. So getting the data from the client also, I have to write some code in my program. Okay, so now that we are going to do it in the later part, so we'll just understand now. Instead of statement interface, what I have written over here is, I have written prepared statement. Okay, why I have written prepared statement? Because this whole task is going to be supported by your prepared statement, not only the statement interface. I have created an object, and simply what I'm going to do is I'm again going to use the object of your previous class, that is your connection class. Okay, once I have used this connection object, I'm going to call one method of your current prepared statement interface, that is what? Prepared statement method. Don't get confused into this. This is a defined method, that is something known as prepared statement method, which comes from your prepared statement interface. Okay, and this prepared statement interface presents inside your sql.star package. Fine. So now to get the dynamic query which I have I have just stored into your sub SQL query variable. This name you can give anything. I have just given SQL query as a variable name. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to call that variable into my prepared statement method. Okay, so what basically is happening, I'm just calling the whole dynamic query into my prepared statement. Now your prepared statement is going to understand that, okay, I am now carrying one dynamic query which I want to fire it to my database, and that is going to only happen. And what query is being fired to the database? It's an insert statement, it's an insert query. Okay, so that means program will understand, okay, so that means I have to insert the values into the table called as employee table. Okay, and that table presents inside which database? That is emp underscore record database with these credentials. Now this much I have just instructed, that how my web server program, that is a servlet program which we are learning, is going to put the values into the database. But we have to also instruct to my program that the values which is trying to get inserted into the database is coming from where? Is coming from the client. So first, what task the program has to do? It has to collect the data from the client. Okay, so I hope this scanner class you all remember. We have done it in SY. Enough time we have used this particular class, and how to fetch the value from user at runtime, we have also studied that. So this scanner class comes under your second package, something called it as what? Util.star. Okay, so what was the syntax for creating the scanner class? We had a scanner class, we have an object. Okay, there's a new operator, and then we had a scanner constructor, and we are calling system.in. This system.in is going to help me to take the input value from the user end. Okay, now we have a condition called it as what? True. So if the values are coming from the client side, if the values are being inserted from the client side into the given web page or into the given form where the fields are the employee number, the employee name, the employee salary, and the employee address. So there are total 4 fields I am having. If the user is putting the values, so that's why we are saying that condition is true. So if the values are coming, so what we have to do is we have to just first of all print one statement for an client, that is saying that enter your employee number. So if the person is entering the employee number, say for example 5, so that 5 is an integer value, integer number that I wanted from my the client end, from that field, to get it from there and get it stored into the variable called as e number. Okay, so I have just created a variable e number with a data type, call it as what? Int. Why is that so? Because I'm fetching the integer value, and to fetch the integer value from that field, what client is giving to that particular text field or particular the value which the user is giving, maybe it is some other fields, and that value is going to be get or fetched from which method? Next int method. And this we have already studied. This is not something new which I am telling it to you. Okay, now, for example, considering that I have created 4 text fields, okay? The first label, say for example, employee number, the second label is employee name, third label is employee salary, fourth label is your employee address, okay? And we have 4 respective text field. So now just let me know, say for example, I am taking the value called 5 into the text field. But whatever value is going to come from the text field is going to be a string value. So what I am going to do is I am going to get fetch that value using the next method, which is responsible to fetch the string value, getting stored into my string variable also. But I have to do the typecasting. Okay, because I want to deal with what? I want to deal with the integer value. And that too respective if I am creating the column in my database that is for employee number. Say when I am going to create a table in my database, so generally what is the syntax? Create table, table name. So create table employee, and in the parameter how we create all these four fields. So we are going to have the employee number and we'll define the data type, right? So if I am defining int over there, and if I'm using the string variable, string value over here, and if I'll try to put that string value into the integral part of your integer value, which has been defined as an integer value of your first column, that is your employee number, then there is going to be an error. So what basically I'm trying to do is I have created a column employee number with integer data type in my database. But here in program, when I'm trying to get the value from the client, I'm storing into the string variable because I have accepted the value as a string value from the text field and I have not typecasted. And if I try to insert that value into my database, there is going to be an error. Okay, so what you can do is you can typecast that string value into the integer value. Okay, now I hope this is very much clear to you all. And what we are doing over here, we are just considering that whatever value we are accepting, it is not coming from the text field. Simply we are having a web page like your command prompt where we generally give an print statement, enter the employee number. So the value has been whichever value has been given over there, we'll be putting into the variable, and whatever type of variable we are declaring, that value is going to be get storing into that particular format. Okay, so this is the way we have accepted the value. That's why for taking the integer value, accepting the integer value, fetching from the client end, we have a next int method. And this is possible when I'm going to use the object of your scanner class. Okay, now next statement what I have given, that is enter the employee name, and that I am going to fetch from the client end using which method? Next method. That is actually meant for the string values. Okay, next is what your enter employee salary. I'm just keeping the variable as esal, and the data type which I am giving is double because of the size of the value which I am going to get from the salary. So I am putting the method as what? Next double. Now next is what? Your employee address. So which I am putting into my string value. Okay. So you have a for field. I have fetched the value from the client using the scanner class and the respective methods for the particular fields. After fetching the values, putting into the variable, that work also I have done it. And I have written the dynamic query to have that value which I have taken from client and get it stored into my employee table. For that need, I have also mentioned that I have a 4 column into my parameters, and each question mark is going to carry each value which I am going to take it from the user. So the first value logically, and it is going to get to my first question mark, that is your first column. Okay. Second, the value which I have fetched, it is going to get for the second question mark. Like that way it is going to work. Fine. So till here, I hope you have understood. Okay, now the next part, what is saying? I have a prepared statement class or prepared statement interface. Okay, so that object name was which I have given is what? PST. Now, if you remember in the last program, I'll just go back to that program over here. Why the next method was being used? Because when I'm going to put the values, fetching the value from this select query from the training table, what expectation I was having, I should get a table format and the data which is being stored into that table should get it displayed for my client. So next method is going to do what? It is going to read my data row by row. Okay, one, the pointer is going to point to the first row. It is going to read that data, going to display my data, and then again going to get the pointer increment by one and going to the next row. Again it is going to read the data, again it is going to happen the same task. Now which type of data is going to read, that also we have mentioned it in the last example what we have studied in last lecture. So if I'm saying that the first value is what? Your integer value, so it is coming from your first column. Second value is what? Your string values that coming from the second column. Something like that we have done it over here also. Okay, so now we are putting the values into my table. So till now what we have done, we had a client page where I have 4 fields for my employee. So it has been expected from employee to enter that 4 values. So the value has been inserted by the client while submitting on the submitting the form. what will happen, that value is being fetched by your scanner class methods. Once it is been fetched, what is going to happen now, your servlet program is going to put all that values to your table. Okay, that is your employee table of your emp underscore record database. Using that insert queries, now the task is that it is going to be inserted into my database. Now, inserting that values into my table called as employee table, I also have to instruct that please set the value into the row which I have created, and which column I have to put the value, that also I have to mention it. Now, say for example, here what I'm doing, set the integer value. So what is a specific method I have for the prepared statement class, prepared statement interface, that is your set int method. Why I am using set int method? Because the first column, that is nothing but your employee number, which is holding some integer value, and which also I have stored into the integer variable in my scanner class. So the first column is going to get which value, emp or e number. This e number is nothing but it's your, if you can, I'll just show you that it is this one. Okay, so the variable which I have created, and I have fetched the value from the client and I have stored it into this particular variable. So it is an integer variable. So what I'm doing, set the value of the first column as what, integer value, and that value whichever is going to come from the client. Say for example 5 is going to be set your first value in your first row. Similarly, I have a second value as what, string value, that is your emp e name, which I have created as a variable, and I am putting the value as a set string method. Third is your salary, so which I have used the double method. So set double for a third column, that is your taking from the eCell variable. Similarly, I have a string value, that is your address, that is going to be fourth column, and that is coming from the EDDR. Now students, here you can make change. Say for example, I am just putting this fourth one into the second place and second into the fourth place. So it is going to change the sequence in your table. Okay, so even though you have a second column name as e name, but you are going to accept it what, EDDR. So if instead of e name I am writing EDDR, so what is going to happen, the address is going to come into your second column and your e name is going to come into your fourth column. Okay, so now what we have done, successfully we have inserted the values into the table. Okay, now previously the data, or we can say the table, was not having any data, it was completely empty. Okay, the first employee has filled the form, submitted the form, your servlet had processed the data, inserted the values in using the prepared statement class into your table, and using the set method we have given the values to the each column, and that one row is about to fill now. To make the updation from your empty table to the filled table, first row which is going to be filled, that updation should happen, and that is only going to happen when you invoke a method called as execute update method. Okay, if you will not fire this query, your table is not going to be updated. So that means your table is going to be still empty. Whatever values you're going to going to fill, it is not going to be reflected. So what you are going to do, you're going to use a method called as execute update method. Okay, once this query has been fired, so your values which you are trying to fill, it's going to be get filled into your first row. Again, what is going to happen, you're going to have a message called as record inserted successfully. This is like just you are going to get once the data has been completely getting into your table what you have created. So this answer is going to, this statement is going to get into your web page for a client, for an employee. Okay, now it is going to ask one more question. So do you want to insert more records? Okay, so if you will say yes, okay, so what is going to happen, it is going to invoke the next method. Fine, and next method is going to invoke, that means the pointer is going to shift now to the second row which is currently empty, and again the whole procedure is going to get start again. Again it is going to accept the four values, again putting into the servlet, fetching the data from there, insert statement will get fire, and then it is coming back to your database where the execute update is going to get invoked, and the second row is going to get filled. If at all the user says no, so then what is going to happen, it is going to have a break statement, so it will come out from there. Okay, so this is the whole program. Almost I have taken more than 35 minutes to explain this program just for a reason, because this is something which you are going to continue in your whole enterprise practical. Okay, so this chapter is very important to understand. The concepts is a very important to understand. Okay, so I just hope that you have understood this program. If you have not understood, if you have not understood anything out of any statement, just put it into the chat box. Once I'll complete the things, okay, I'll just go back and then I'll just read out the questions. Fine. Now we'll move on to the third one, that is your callable statement interface. So at the very starting, when I have shown you the difference that, statement interface, prepared statement interface, and the callable statement interface. So that time I told you that callable statement interface is being used for what? For having the execution of your stored procedure or a function. Now the stored procedure is something, the data which has been already there in your database, and you can use it over and over again and again the number of times you want to access it. Okay, for that need, we have three parameters to deal with this particular type of interface. One is your in parameter, next is your out parameter, then we have a in out parameter. Okay, so in parameter is being used for what? It is being used for providing the input values to my existing table. Out parameter is something being used to collect the output values. So now what exactly this in and out, I'll tell you. So if I want to put any value to my table, okay, if I want to insert some value into my table, so in my database, say for example, my SQL command line, what is the first thing what I'm going to do is whenever I want to create a table, it's a create statement. Okay, and I told you that callable statement is going to be used for working, used for execution of procedure and the functions. So instead of creating the table, I am going to create a procedure. Okay, so what you are doing into your create statement, creating the columns and everything, that same thing is going to happen with your procedure. The only difference is that when you create a table, you are not allowed to use that table name table again and again for the some other purpose. Okay, but here if you'll create one procedure, you can use it number of times into the other purpose, other applications. Okay, so here what I am doing, I am using in parameter means what? Say for example, if I wanted to create a variable called as, emp number. So when I am creating a table, say create table employee, I am just creating a column name, say e number, and data type I am assigning it as what? Int. So the same thing which I want to do it in the procedure, how I'm going to do that? Create procedure, procedure name. Okay, and again I'm going to create the parameters. Say for example, emp number I want to create it. So that time you have to use this in word, where you are going to mention it that e number is going to come in which format. So it is going to come in int. Okay, so e number in int. So I'm going to give you that example, don't worry about that. So that is how you are defining the data type of the column. So that's why you're defining the in parameter over here. That is why you're going to use the in parameter. Now out parameter is going to be used for what? In which format I am going to get the values from the database. So if the values is being stored into the integer format, so if the client is going to get the response into the string format, I can use the out parameter, that is for the output. Okay, and that conversion should happen into your servlet file, that is typecasting. Fine. Next is what your in out parameter, which is going to give you one procedure, and in one procedure I can have the in out parameter. That means I can have both input and output in the particular format. Okay, now just we'll quickly go through the differences between the statement interface, prepared statement, and the callable statement. Still we are remaining with one example of a callable statement. I don't know whether it is going to happen today or not, but we'll simply first go to this difference. Okay, so statement interface says that it is a very base interface, okay, meant for executing the normal SQL queries or a static queries. It is no need to pass the parameter to the SQL query at the runtime, that we know that how it is going to happen. That simply if I want to reflect or affect one row, I can do it with the help of, static query into my program. It is going to be used when a particular SQL query is going to be executed only once. Okay, so that means when I have given that example update query, so that update query is going to get fired only once, because there is only going to be one change into my table. Okay, in one that row. So it is going to be used for the DDL kind of statements, that is data definition language statement, which comes under your create, alteration, dropping. Okay, so this all things are going to happen in your statement interface. Comparatively, other two, we have a low performance, okay, of your statement interface. Now, when I talk about the prepared statement, it is going to extend your statement interface. See here, this both prepared statement as well as the callable statement is going to extend, or it is going to take the statement interface whenever it is going to use it, because that is your base interface. Okay, all the basic features and everything are present in your statement interface. So that is been required by your other two, that is your prepared and the callable statement. Okay, so it is compulsorily we have to extend your statement interface so we can use the basic things from your statement interface. Now, it is used to create the parameterized query, and your callable is being used for creating the, or being used for the stored procedure. Your prepared statement is going to, it is going to be used for passing the parameter to your SQL query at runtime. And here in the callable, we have seen that three types of parameters we are going to use it. In prepared statement, we can execute the query multiple times, like your insert query, which is having question mark. Okay, so that means number of times I am going to accept the values from the client and which is going to get stored in your table. So again, it has been saying that it is been used for the stored procedures and the functions. Last, the which they have written, the performance is better than your statement interface, and the better performance comparatively in all, the callable statement is going to give you far better performance than the rest too. Fine. Now, so we have already seen this, like how to create an object of your statement interface. So what is the syntax for that? We are going to have a statement interface. We are going to create an object. You can directly write equals to con.create statement over here. It is just about the scope. So if you'll just write it over here, the scope is going to be only the block. Okay, this block. So the good habit is what? Whenever you're going to create a statement interface and object of it, simply write con.create statement in the same statement. So it is going to have a wider scope in your program. Okay. And when I want to have the methods for my statement, there is going to be three methods. So first method is what? Your execute method, which is accepting some SQL query. What data type I have used it for my method? That is your Boolean data type. Okay, so this Boolean data type is going to do what for me? Whenever I am going to retrieve some response from my database, so it is going to return to me the Boolean value is true if the value is been retrieved successfully from the database or a table. Okay, so for example, I am just having a query called as select query into this. Okay, and I'm just using a method, call it as what? Execute query method, execute method, and I'm saying select star from employee. So what is my expectation? I'm going to get the whole table from there, and that is going to happen with the help of execute method. So if I am getting the whole table as a response, it is going to give me the Boolean value as what? True. Okay, if it is successfully getting retrieved from the table, it is going to give me true, otherwise it is going to give me false. So it has been specifically used for the DDL statements. Okay, next method we have already studied, that is your execute update method. Okay, you can have a query also, or you can have a blank also. So if you pass any query over here, say for example, if you want to update any information or a row into your table, so if I'm not mentioning anything, that means what? Basically, whatever changes are going to happen to your table, it is going to reflect to the whole row. Okay, so what is being expected over here? Whenever I'm going to fire a query, say for example, again, select star from employee, and I'm having this execute update, what is going to be the response for me? It is going to give me the number of rows which has been affected by the SQL query. Okay, so for example, I am having 10 rows in my table called as employee. So if I am filing that select query, so what is going to happen? I am going to get a number called as 10. So that means the 10 rows are being affected. Okay, last is what? It is being used for which type of statements? Insert, update and delete statement. Last is what? Your execute query. It is not for the statement interface, but it is the method comes under your result set interface. Again, I'm going to have some query over here. So it is completely specifically works for your select statements only. Okay, the rest are also going to work with your insert, update and delete. Here it is going to work with your DDL, that is your drop, alter and create. Here it is going to work with your select statement specifically. How you're going to close your statement, but always using your close method. So no need of, like here I have created a statement interface using the object. I am going to write equals to the connection class object dot create statement. Okay, so the way we have closed it, the connection class, similarly I'm going to close what? Statement interface. So using close method, just because that it's a good habit that we are not depending on the automatic garbage collection, we are doing that garbage collection from here only. Okay, and this prepared statement we have learned enough. We have seen the example also today, so we are not going into this. It's just like we have completed the whole concept, and then we are going for the definition. So we know that why prepared statement are being used, how you're going to create a prepared statement object. Again, there is a way, that is prepared statement object name equals to, you can write the the sentences like this con dot prepared statement over here. The only thing why we have written over here, that is, we know that prepared statement is used for the dynamic statements. Okay, so what type of dynamic statement I have written over here, saying that we have a variable called SQL, and what dynamic statement I am passing? Update employees set age equals to question mark, where id is equals to question mark. So if at all the client wants to change some data, the data can be the age of the client, so it can have an option. Okay, so from the client page, web page, if he wants to change the value, if he wants to change the age, so what information he has to pass? He has to give his id number and he has to set the new age. Okay, so this query is going to update the particular id, say for example 5, the id number 5, and the age is going to be reflected into that particular row. Okay, so the row is going to be find by your SQL query. So id is equals to 5, it is going to find, first of all, when it is going to find the 5, it is going to go to the column called as age, and it's going to update the value which is going to come over here in the question mark from the client end. Okay, so this is how you're going to create an object, and you're going to write a dynamic statements. So we have three methods of your statements interface. That is your one execute, only execute method, which is going to work with your DDL statements, execute query, which is going to work with your select statement, and this execute update is going to work with your insert, update, and delete. Okay, and how you're going to close your prepared statement, again using the close method. It is, we are going to call it explicitly, and then we are going to clean up all the resources which is being occupied. Okay, so how you're going to do, you're going to use an object name of your prepared statement interface dot close method. Fine, so we are just stopping over here. We are going to start with the callable interface tomorrow, and we will try maximum that we are going to finish this chapter tomorrow itself. Okay, because it's hardly the callable statement which is very important, which is remaining right now. Rest is all the, again, the revision concept. So tomorrow we are going to complete this chapter. Okay, and Saturday we are going to have the quiz for both the chapters, your fourth chapter and your sixth chapter. And we are going to have a fifth chapter, which I told you, it's very small. It is nothing having much theoretically. It just showing you that how to create a web application, which I'm going to show it to you tomorrow. Okay, which we have already seen it also, but still we'll revise it. And one or two concepts we are going to learn over there, and then we are going to finish your unit 1. Okay, and if require anything you want to be revised, so let me know by today evening. You can message me personally that this particular topic is being required to get revision, so I'll do that also by Saturday. Okay, so I'm just stopping here, and I hope that you have understood. Just let me know whether you have understood or not, and then I can